Habari ya jioni wa Kenya wenzangu na habari ya jioni wale marafiki zangu ambao niko nao hapa kwa studio. Habari zenyu?
Uzuri sana, niko salama, nashukuru.
Okay, asante sana. Leo nini mmefanya sauti bwana? Ni kama ama hujakula vizuri?
Hii weather ya Nairobi, it is not very favorable to wanaitwa aje? Bachelors. Maybe that could be the reason.
Sasa weather imeamua kuenda na sauti. Hiyo ni kali. Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama sana ndugu yangu Benson. Mkenya mwenzangu.
Mimi ni Mkenya halisi. We, kuna tofauti gani? Kwa sababu Makobura ametoa malalamishi kuwa sauti ni kwa sababu kwamba bado hajapata mchumba, na wewe uko na mchumba ndio maana sauti iko safi hivyo.
Hiyo ni uongo. Hata mimi sina mchumba, sauti iko tu sawa. Labda yeye nafikiria maybe kulingana na yeye, lakini si ati mchumba inafanya sauti. Hata mimi sina mchumba na sauti yangu iko sawa.
A point of correction.
Yes.
Point of correction. I didn't mention anywhere.
Umesema kama mabachelors.
But I didn't specify anything.
Okay. Miguda, unajua leo ni Thursday na kama kawaida Thursday waga ile kwa kizungu tunaita TBT. We ni kitu gani ambacho labda unaweza kumbuka kwa siku hii ya Thursday ambapo labda inakukumbusha ama inakupeleka zile enzi za kale, maybe kama unakuwa kama mdogo, ambapo unaweza kumbuka leo?
Kwanza hapo kwa bachelor nataka kusema Makobura asilalamike sana, yeye si senior bachelor. Sasa relax tu, lakini kama
kinakaa internet yake imekwama na yeye ndio single. Sasa huyu single Makobura, wewe nini na unakumbuka sana reminds you of Thursday?
Kwangu leo mimi vile ukiangalia katika
Ebu angalia internet yako baba, kinakaa iko na tashwishi kidogo. Ebu angalia internet.
Unanipata vizuri?
Nakupata, lakini ni kama unakwama kidogo.
Bado nakuwa mama, bado niko sawa?
Uko sawa, sasa sema.
Leo TBT yangu nasema si ati ile ya kama nilikuwa mdogo sana. Leo hata niliweka katika mtandao ya kijamii, niliweka ya kwamba nilikuwa nakumbuka wakati mmoja kama niko katika chuo kikuu. Nilienda hapo kusoma ngine hapo. Kuna wakati nilichukuanga picha nyingine hapo kwa library. Sasa hiyo picha leo ndio ilitambaa mtandao ya kwamba wakati nilikuwa katika chuo kikuu nilikuwa nafanya assignment nyingine hapo kwa library. Sasa nilikuwa nakumbuka hizo enzi wakati tulikuwa huko chuo kikuu na kina Makobura.
Okay.
Sasa hiyo ndio ilikuwa TBT yangu ya leo.
Labda kwa wale ambao labda wanakuona tu, leo umethibitisha kuwa we ni mtu ambaye amesomea na tena umeenda mpaka chuo kikuu. Unajua saa zingine hatupati nafasi kuambia watu labda tukizungumza hapa tuambie watu masomo tumefika wapi na masomo, lakini we ni miongoni wa wale ambao wamebahatika kwenda chuo kikuu na ukasomea sheria. Watu ambao wajui. Makobura, wewe ni TBT gani?
I think this is the same time that Honorable Ken Obura, Member of Parliament of Kibra, It was almost the same times that he died.
Ken Obura or Ken Okoth?
I mean, Ken Okoth, yeah, Ken Okoth.
Yes, the late.
Because I'm Kevin Obura, so
He's also
sometimes I
he's
do
also
mistake
Bura, so he thought everybody's
that
Obura.
Okay.
that sometimes I mistake that once upon a time I was a member of parliament. Yeah, but what I remember, it was almost the same time that he died. He was a member of parliament who was loved by his constituents. Personally, I liked him. I liked his politics.
Yeah.
And this month reminds me of him. And I remember I'd also posted something in that was in 2020? 2020, was it 2020 or 2019? I'm not so sure. That maybe one day I'll take over I'll also be a member of parliament. So when I checked my Facebook account, it reminded me that at one point I'd written that in the near future I'll be a member of parliament.
That is
So
it
has reminded me of so many things, especially my political ambitions.
That's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hiyo ni mzuri. Mimi naye nakumbuka tu tukiwa wadogo sana ulikuwa unaweza kosea na unapata kwamba mamako ama mzazi anakupiga, anakuambia usilie, lakini anakuambia usilie, lakini viboko zile unapata sasa, unashindwa ulie, saa unapata ile hiyo nini unataka kulia lakini usilie, lakini unapigwa. So inanikumbusha na inatuambia mapenzi ya wazazi kwetu, na hivyo ndio leo naweza kumbuka, lakini sina picha ambayo labda naweza chukua niweke kwa mtandao na niseme hivi ndio mamangu alikuwa ananipiga ama hivi ndio mzazi alikuwa ananipiga nikikosea, lakini niko na hizo kumbukumbu kwangu, niko nazo kwa fikra na mawazo yangu. Saa zingine nikifikiria naona natandikwa, lakini unaambiwa usilie, lakini bado unachapwa. Sasa utakosaje kulia na bado unachapwa? So tumetoka mbali na tunawashukuru wazazi kwa hayo. Asante sana wale ambao wanatutazama kwa saizi, na tunachukua hii fursa kuambia asante na karibu kwa mjadala ama mdahala ambao tutataka kuwa nayo. Kwanza kabisa ningependa kuchukua shukrani kusema kwamba Judith Karwitha, thank you so much, and Brendo Bedi, thank you so much. I'm seeing you're watching and on the comment section. Makobura, once again, thank you so much, you and Miguda, for just coming in so that we can weigh our thoughts on what is happening in the country right now. As you know very well, yesterday, the Right Honorable Prime Minister said that he's exiting the local politics. And that is a shocker. It's not a shocker, but like knowing very well for the longest time in Kenyan history, there's no any other politicians that have been in the murky waters of Kenyan politics, Raila Odinga. And one thing that go without mentioning, we can count for good things and bad things on his history. And I say, if somebody can write a book about Raila Odinga, and he can write so many things. He comes with so many things. He's not a perfect person, and all of us know that. Even us who are here, I don't think like we are perfect in everything that we do. At some point, there are those weaknesses that we have or those mistakes that we've made, but we've learned from them. So today we just want to look at what is the impact, either positively or negatively, that when Raila exit local politics, what do you think will happen, and what is the way forward, or what do we need to change, just in case, because he's starting, the president will launch his campaign bid on 27 officially. Yeah, that is what is there. So, but in the event that he wins, what are some of the things that we are putting across? And also we have to look at how is this one going to work? So may I start with Miguda? What is your take on Raila Odinga exiting Kenyan politics? Or Makubura, you can play us that video before. But yes, Just give us the take.
Raila Odinga says he is now taking a back seat on local politics as he transitions into continental and geopolitics. Odinga, who has already submitted his application for the AU top job, spoke during a status update on his campaign, flanked by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. As our very own Stephen Leto reports, President William Ruto will officially unveil Raila Odinga as Kenya's candidate for the Africa Union Commission chairmanship next week.
Raila Odinga has made it official that he will go easy on local politics as he gears for an intense Africa Union Commission chairmanship campaign. Odinga, who has been in active Kenyan politics for more than 40 years, has served both in government and opposition, two sides of the coin that he says give him a better understanding of continental and geopolitics.
I'm not going to be very active in Kenyan politics henceforth, as I continue now to focus my attention on the continental campaign. But it is a phase, it is a transitional phase from active participation in Kenyan politics to moving towards African continental politics.
Odinga's move to exit Kenya's political arena comes after changes to his party's leadership structure, where Governors Simba Arati, Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir, and Senator Godfrey Osotsi were named as the new deputy party leaders. It still remains unclear whether Odinga will drop his party leadership position at Orange House, as President William Ruto is set to hand him the flag next week on Tuesday during the official unveiling of Kenya's candidacy.
Next week, on the 27th of August 2024, His Excellency President Ruto will be formally launching the candidate in the name of Raila Odinga.
Odinga will then embark on shuttle diplomacy across Africa, with those close to his AUC campaign hinting at a plan to engage top diplomats, will lead several Kenyan delegations to pursue support in West Africa, South Africa, the Horn of Africa, Central Africa, and the Francophone nations. The teams will be put forward next Tuesday when President William Ruto will officially hand Odinga the flag to kick off the campaign.
Just as we cheered our athletes in the recent Olympics, let us lend our full support to Honorable Raila as he carries the Kenya flag high in the race for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission. This is more than a candidacy. It is a national mission.
From now on, it is all systems go. I will need your support in this campaign.
But you will recall in our remarks, we said that Africa also needs a Baba. So we are here again to just re-emphasize that particular message. So
the height of the AUC campaign will be Odinga battling other contestants in head-to-head live debate dubbed Mjadala Africa.
Our candidate is undoubtedly experienced and well prepared to participate in the live debates to engage the African people on how to propel the continent's growth and ensure Africa achieves its goals of African integration and sustainable development.
Kenya, Djibouti, Madagascar, and Mauritius are fielding candidates in the AUC race.
Yes, Miguda, that was just a preview of what is going to happen. Baba declaring that he's exiting the national politics, and now his main focus is going to be Africa. Now, what is your take, and what is the impact that is going to leave in Kenyan political space?
When Baba is going to AUC, chairperson is going to leave a gap in the country's politics, most of the Kenyan politics, because Baba's been in this politics, like he has contested for president 5 times. So he's going to miss in action in the ballot because we are used to see him in the ballot from 1997, 2002 he played a critical role by saying Kibaki Tosha, 2007 he was on the ballot, 13, 17 respectively, and 2022. So I think voters are going to miss him on the ballot, is going to be missed in action. And during the campaign, he used to say that today we are going to bring to you the fourth, the fifth, respectively, President of the Republic of Kenya. He was being described as an icon of Africa. It is an African icon, he's an international leader. So it is good now, an opportunity has come for him to demonstrate that is it true that he was an icon? Was it an African icon? So Baba leaving Kenyan politics is a good move on his behalf and also on his political profile, that at least he contested for the 5 times for presidency. He failed to clinch the presidency. Now he moved to AUC. So we're just wishing him the best as our countryman so that he can clinch that seat. We are fully supporting him to clinch that seat for the country's benefit. Baba leaving to AUC, Baba has a major role to play because, in Africa, there are those people who are colonized by the French. They are the majority, and the Britain. And also they are Arabian country.
Yes. Did your internet or what? I think there's a problem with Miguda's internet. I think is Marco Bura. I think it's that. So
African
Miguda,
icon, but on his ground, and the French colony, so that he can win this seat. But we are going to miss him in action.
Okay, thank you so much. I can read from one of our viewers. Baba will be on sabbatical leave. Baba is very much around. That is our friend Ayaga. Yes, that is also an opinion, which it's true. You never know, but like something that also we need to understand and accept that Baba have like art in politics of Kenya. Baba is the only person who has enjoyed both the opposition at the same time being in the government. In all the government administration we've had, except one for the founding father, where his father was the vice president. But this other administration, Baba has always been in those, because you look at even during the Kibaki administration, he was there. During Uhuru Kenyatta administration, he was there. During right now in the Ruto administration, he's there. And you'd see state officials would go and have briefing to him, or giving briefing, or even some projects that the government is doing, or even to seek his advice. So there's no any other politician in the country who will be like Baba in terms of the art of his politics, on how he has managed to be in both opposition and in the government. So that is one thing that I could say about Baba, the art of politics, as he exits the local politics, going into international or African politics. Makobura, what do you have to say?
I believe that Raila has what it takes. It is right for him to leave the Kenyan politics. And again, he's been in the Kenyan politics for quite some time. It is also true that he has massive experience when it comes to leadership. He has a good connection in the continent of Africa. I think he's one of the leaders who are very much known in the continent of Africa. At one point, he had worked with the African Union in the Department of Infrastructure. So Raila understands Africa, the continent of Africa, and I believe that he has what it takes to drive Africa. He has what it takes to negotiate on behalf of the continent of Africa. He has what it takes to stir and to lead the nations which are within Africa when it comes to making the right decision, and also connecting them with the other continents. He's been in Kenya for quite some time, and of course he had both his weaknesses and all those that would say is energies. He did well in the Republic of Kenya. We saw him as a fighter for the human rights and also a fighter for the people. As much as he never claimed the presidency, he worked closely with the presidents, and I think we might say that Raila is the only president that Kenya really needed to give time, but they didn't give him the opportunity. And of course, him being close to the presidency and also being close to presidents, I believe that as much as he never became the president, he drove this country. I'm gonna drive this country behind the scenes. So he's experienced, and the people of Kenya believes in him. He's done good, and we believe that if he goes there, he's going to continue fighting for the rights of the people and for the interest of the people of Africa. On the issue of ODM, him leaving the local politics, that is the politics of in the politics of Kenya, it's going to be tough for especially his close allies and also his ODM members, especially those coming from Nyanza region, because those people really could not survive without him. They were behaving like a pest, like they were holding on Raila to get them. So this time round, it's going to be tough for them, and I believe from where I see that at least for the first time, the people of the Nyanza region will see the benefit of having democracy of choosing political parties, democracy of electing leaders that they want. And in one way or another, I believe they will experience massive growth in terms of development, because currently the people who are close to Raila, they have not been doing much just because they're close to him. When it comes to general elections, they would be given free tickets. They would not be taken to they would be given free tickets, and that gave them too much advantage. So this time round, whatever work you do to the people will determine whether you'll be elected or not. But from where I see it, majority of ODM members in Low Nyanza, they're not performers, they're just sycophants. And maybe if you want examples of sycophancy, I can give you so many examples that we've seen in Low Nyanza.
Okay, thank you so much, and I'll come to Miguda. I also look at it as ushering in of new leadership and leaders of another type of high classical leadership in terms of democracy growing. Growing and following up the constitution. And I say, like, for instance, I'm just looking at what happened the other day when the experts were donated. These experts were donated at the agreement of His Excellency Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and because they could not go without their consent. So when you look so much deeper, it's also going to affect the kind of politics that we are doing in a way that we will get leaders that, especially like with the new Gen Z era that has come, we will get leaders who knows what is being done and for accountability and I say transparency. And the reason why I'm saying this, if you look at how politics work, there's a post-PAC and the pre-PAC agreement that the political or the politics in Kenya is always allowed to do that. You can have a PAC before election, and you can also have a PAC after election. So and all these agreements require that you you deposit them with the Register of Political Parties. But that is something that we did not see when the experts were donated to that, because I don't know why, but in real sense, it's something that they are working with the government. And it also, that is one. Also, it also gave a test to the democracy of our parliament, because the constitution we have says that the majority people with the number of members of parliament should be the majority, and the less members should be the minority. But in the event on how things happened, actually Azimio was supposed to be the majority, but the way parliament is, its democracy is dictated by few people. It ended up that Jubilee became, the Kenya Kwanza became the majority. And now also we saw the experts now going, the ODM members are now working with the government, So you find like the parliament was supposed to be affected in terms of the committees, because in parliament and in the constitution and the nature of standing order, it says there are some committees that requires that they should be headed by the minority, especially when you look at the public account committee and public investment. These are committees that should be headed with the minority. But now you see, as ODM has donated, or the Azimio has donated those members, and they're still holding these positions. This make it quite much difficult for the accountability and transparency in government, because how will you hold, for instance, let's say like the CS for Treasury, and we know very well that is a member of ODM. So his exit or his being in politics has also made us learn things about the parliamentary democracy, how democracy works, and also how the leaders sometimes can decide to violate the laws that they themselves legislated and came up with, and maybe to serve the interest that they feel might be good for the country. So him being in politics is making us to learn that. Another thing that also him being in politics of Kenya and how he's going to be affected was how he fought for multi-party democracy. When we got the multi-party democracy, then in the event, within a short period of time, we came up with coalitions, and you find that the spirit of democracy, of having several multiple parties would vie independently, that spirit is dead. So you find for you to vie, you have to look for people and come together and form a coalition, where you cannot vie as one political party, though the constitution allow for pre-pack and post-pack. But by him being there, it tells us how we've grown. So that is another thing that I say, during his 4 decades in Kenyan politics, or during his time in Kenyan politics and in art of playing politics, has made us also to learn that if you look it so much keenly. So that is also something that I would say. Miguda. Unmute, Mr. Miguda.
There are a lot of lessons we can learn from Raila.
Yeah.
And I think as a future politicians, or as a future leaders of this country, we need to borrow so much from him, because we are going to follow the same path he has followed, because he has been in this game, and we're going to play the same game. So if you can borrow some of his tactics, you can survive for your future politics. You will see even the current young leaders around him are trying to do whatever he has been doing. For example, Babu Owino has been going across the country trying to put people into his side. It means that he's emulating what Odinga taught him. Odinga also is one person who could oppose you and support you at different points. For instance, I remember he bitterly opposed Mwai Kibaki. Then after elections, he was in agreement with him. So Odinga taught us that politics is not, you should not put politics in heart. You should not put politics in mind. So after politics, there is life. After politics, people must move on, irrespective of which position you have won. He also taught us that in politics, you don't need to be someone who cannot change his mind, because it is only a fool who does not change his mind. So at times in politics, you need to change your mind, and also you need to move with the current, and also you need to dance with the current tunes. Remember when he went into handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, people castigated him, and then when he brought in BBI, then he was popular with the BBI. Then when BBI was quashed out by the court, he came up with a coalition known as Azimio. So he's someone who has been maneuvering through political parties, through agreements, affiliation. So there is no, even remember, even his opponents at times work with him after bitter opposition. So in Kenyan politics, it's very dynamic. And Kenyan politics, you must learn from the senior and the senior politician like Odinga who have been there, because they have been this road for a while. Now it's like 40 years he has been in politics. So there's a lot we can learn from him, that even when we go to competition with our future opponents, we don't need to. It is not a do die game. No, it's just a fair contest. That after the contest, you must look at the priority of the nation. You must look at what next, and also you should know that politics is not life, is not death, it is not do die. Politics is just a game. After politics, you must support the person who have won, and also you must respect institutions like court, because most of the time, even if petitions have been in the Supreme Court. 2013 you went to Supreme Court, 2017 you went to Supreme Court, 2022 went to Supreme Court. At the end of the statement, you can read his previous statement. He has been saying that I disagree with the decision of the court, but I respect the decision of the court. So it means, as a politician, you must respect institutions of democracy. As a politician, you must respect the rule of law. As a politician, you must understand democracy. And sometimes it doesn't favor you. Even after you have stretched to the final stage, you need to understand that at the end of the day, the decision of the IBC chair of Wafula Chebukati is the final decision. Even after going through Supreme Court, going through Mandamano, but the president will remain the person who was declared, and the person who was confirmed by the Supreme Court, and the person who was sworn in by the Chief Justice. So at times, Raila Odinga has never interfered with these constitutional institutions. He has never interfered with the court. He can criticize them to the latter, but at the end of the day, he usually respects those institutions. So there are many things you can borrow from Raila, even though he's a politician of late is making some mysterious moves. But I think mysterious move is according to his name. It's called Agwambo. Agwambo in our local translation is mysterious. So let him do mysterious things. But we can learn a lot from him, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Eric Ayaga, too. Thank you so much. And you say due to this fear, Raila Odinga is very much around. Once he announces resignation from ODM, it will be bad for ODM. And that is, I agree with you, Ayaga, because the reason why I agree with you on this, one, you know, what really happened, especially after the protest of the Gen Z, and how Baba took the initiative and to donate the experts. Majority of young people did not take it very kindly, and you know very well that the ODM, as we speak, needs Baba more than Baba needs ODM, because he's like institution in that party. Because remember, even some of the decisions that Baba usually takes, once Baba has made a pronouncement that this is the way, yeah, everybody will jump into the bandwagon and they will go with what Baba is saying, whether it might not be pleasing the public, but it will be. I can remember very well. You remember? I don't know when. There was a time they went for a burial in Western Kenya, and one of the members of parliament, I think if I'm not wrong, he might be the member of parliament for Kisumu Central, Dr. Oron, that he said when Baba says left, Baba, yeah. So you don't have to question, So that is something that is going to change the political dynamic, especially for the lovers and the support base of ODM, because who will have that command and say that today we are going right, and this one we are going to write. And another thing that Ayaga said about the young people like Babu Owino, and this one creates a breather for Babu Owino in Kenyan politics, because there's a vacuum that is now going to that is going to be left by Raila Odinga, and this one gives Babu a chance to come out without any conflict, because he will try to argue with the members of parliament. I mean, the ODM officials, the ones that the new ones, and if they feel like they don't want to align themselves with maybe what Babu Owino is saying, Babu Owino will walk out, and if he walks out, what will happen? And another thing also that is going to change the politics of Kenya in terms of ODM, which we might discuss tomorrow about what next for ODM, because remember ODM has 3 deputies, and there is no the 3 deputy party leaders, and there's no party leader. Let's say that now immediately Raila resigns the way Ayaga was saying, so which means we're not going to have party leader. And what is the constitution of ODM saying about electing the party leader? Is it a must that the deputy must become automatically the party leader? So how will the 3 deputies, if it is, I don't know what their constitution say about election of a party leader, how will be the 2 deputies or the 3 deputies taking the leadership of the party, because they are on the same rank? So that is also something that also we have to look at. And maybe as we continue to talk, I will also try to give my view about maybe there might be agreement between him and the president. Makobura, what do you think?
Okay. First, maybe on the point that you've mentioned about what we've learned about Raila, I think as a country, we need to note that Raila is a political professor in the continent of Africa, just like the likes of Julius Nyerere, Kenyatta Senior, the likes of Moi, just like the first president of South Africa, Matiba. So it's really shaped the politics of the Republic of Kenya. It's really fought for genuine reforms since he got into politics. And as a people, I think the level of high democracy that we're enjoying in this country, partly it's what Raila Molo Odinga, together with his followers and close allies, fought for. So that is one thing that we have to acknowledge. One day, if the history of the Republic of Kenya would be written, it would be mentioned that Raila is one of the pioneers, fighters of democracy. Today, you can see young people would go to street and the president would listen to them. If it were not what they fought for, we would actually not have that liberty to get into the streets. So we, especially the young people of the Republic of Kenya, we have to acknowledge the fact that Raila has done much. He has really done much. And we can learn so many things. Persistency, he's been persistent as much as he's gone for presidencies. There's this narrative that he's been winning, but he's not been given that opportunity to lead. Close allies who were with him in 2007 said that he won. Even some part of the close allies to the president then also said and admitted that he won. But the then Electoral Commission chair, Kivitu, also came out and said that he didn't know who had won. So it is true that we've seen his persistency, we've seen him be among the behaviors that is shown. We've learned much from him, that if something is taken from you, you live to fight for it again. And he's always fought for it. He came again in 2013. Whatever happened. He didn't lose hope. He went again in 2017, 2022, and he's still very energetic. So we've also learned so much. especially about our rights. Through the rallies and the position role that he has played, he has taught us so much when it comes. He has educated us and taught us so much about our rights. Whenever they went to the street, he would tell us, "You have a right. The Constitution gave you this. This is what we fought for. This is what we placed in the Constitution: the right to picket, the right to walk in street, the right to demand for justice, the right to demand for accountability and everything." So, and I think that was also confirmed by the latest demonstrations that we had in Kenya. You see, most young people came out and they said that Raila should now relax. He has done his bit. Now, the young people, most of them admitted that they're now taking over from Raila. They're going to continue with the legacy that is left. So if you see even the young people are recognizing that, then as a country, we are okay, let him live. As a young people, we shall continue with this legacy, a legacy of uniting the people of Kenya, a legacy of fighting for the rights and justice to everyone, no matter the tribe, no matter the region, and anything. Again, when it comes to leadership, we've seen him reaching out to so many leaders. We've seen him working together with them. We've seen him having divergent opinion, especially when he believes that the country is greater than any individual. We've seen him, like the other day, according to him, having a meeting with the president to decide on the issues of broad-based. Through him, of course, he believed that it was going to solve the instability that might have come. But it is true from where we sit, since he had a discussion with the president, we've not seen any demonstration. So as much as we are castigating, as much as we are saying what he did was not right, but of course by now we would still be seeing demonstrators, young people going to the streets. So he's an icon of politics. He's a professor. We will really miss him in the local politics, but he's done his bit. We believe new leaders, young leaders with fresh blood will also emerge. And so we may not feel his shoe, but we will try as a people, as the people of Kenya, as the youth, to do what is right.
Okay. I don't think really it is I don't think like Kenyans are really castigating him, but like I think like Kenya has reached a point whereby they feel like due to the knowledge that they've had and what he really stands for, and they feel like maybe he might have flipped, but that is very obvious because as we started earlier, Makubura, I told you in the life that we are living today, for instance, I cannot say that I'm the perfect person in everything that I do. I have my flaws and I have my weakness as a person that comes with it, and also I have my strongest part as a person. There are those areas that I really do well, and the areas that I'm so weak at. So I think that is one part that also showed us some areas that he is weak. But also, I want to also to take another look at the impact of his exiting will cause to the current politics and what might have made that to even to make the public. One of it is that it tells us that his campaign is going to be funded mostly by the government. The government will put more of resources on his campaign just to see him win, and it tells you that we've come from an individual to now a state. We are not now speaking as a political party or as a certain group, but now we are speaking as a Kenya as a country. That Kenya will be, it is now a state issue, and that one is going to shape even the politics of it because who is going to fund it, and how, that is one. Another thing also that I might look at is about the dealship And this is maybe I might talk about in terms of what has happened, because politics look at what has happened very recently and you can make conclusions out of that. By having the broad-based government, maybe I would say there might be a deal that was struck between the two. And one of the deals were, okay, I'm going to support you for AUC, but you have to exit the Kenyan politics. You have to leave it completely. So I'm going to support you for that. That is maybe on the part of president. Another thing that I'm also looking at, I'm also looking at the political angle of the president. And by you exiting, there's a notion, or there must be agreement, that I will inherit your support base. Because if you look at even how those appointments were made based on the areas that Baba has the majority of following. It was not just appointment, because if to say, I don't think, like, if you look at the family of Ogiek family, Ogiek community, they also have people who love Baba, but they could have appointed people from Ogiek and say that we are picking the least number of population group to serve in the government. That could have been understandable. But if you look at how appointments were made, especially to look at, we are looking at Western Kenya, then we are looking at the coastal region and who has the say. Because look at the coastal region. Aisha Juma was there as the coastal leader, but does she have what it takes to mobilize, or does she have the power to bring the coastal people together as compared to Joho? So that is something that was also being looked. Then come to the Western Kenya. We were looking at Ababu Namwamba was there, but was Ababu Namwamba so powerful to bring something substantial to the deal? So no. And if you look at that one is there. Another thing that might also will affect his exit will also affect the politics of balancing, because as you know, for few months ago there was hostility, or there was cold rebel, especially in central Kenya towards the president. And even you could see the allies of deputy president, the way they were talking. It was a way to show that things are not very, very comfy. There must be a very disagreement on what is happening to people. And you saw even the Malala left. So it was also a bargain of how to balance the politics. If I don't get the central Kenya, what are you going to give me? I might get it from Western and the ODM. That is also something that you have also to look at. And then
I would actually partly disagree with your comments. Because politically, yeah, everything is possible. And if suppose the president had a negotiation with the former premier, so that we would support him, or we would support him as a country, so that he would leave the local politics, and maybe the president would inherit his support base. I don't think that would really materialize, because it would actually depend with how the president would convince the supporters of Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
The president supporting Raila Odinga, it is not like the support is not pegged on anything, and it's not automatic that once Ruto supports him for AU, he would actually inherit his supporters. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Currently, people are talking about Babu Owino taking over from Raila Odinga.
True.
Suppose Babu Owino takes over from Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
Of course, from where we sit and from the moves that you're seeing, there is a possibility that he would not work with the president. If Raila exits and he says that I'm out of ODM until they get another party leader, of course, most politicians would shift to Babu Owino's party. That's a fact.
Yeah.
We are also ground. We know what is happening.
Yes.
So with Babu going with some support from Raila Odinga, so that would mean that the president will not inherit the supporters of Raila Odinga. So what I'm trying to say here is the coming politics of 2027 would depend on one, how the people would be going for that seat would convince the people. But again, this time around, it's not going to depend on kingpinship or anything.
Yeah.
Because the other day you saw the young people of Kenya coming out to resist the negativity that they were seeing in this government. So 2027 general election is going to be a very different one, to an extent that I see a possibility of someone who has not been so much in the political light being even elected as the president.
Okay, but you know the reason why I'm saying that this is like hypothesis. We are just I'm just hypothesizing, and based on what really happened, because you remember when you remember how the peaceful protest was, you know, and it was very successful. And when the Right Honorable Prime Minister came on board, you know, you saw the effect, yeah, on how it happened. So in terms of hypothesis, yeah, we are looking at, okay, because you are looking at, he still has, because what is going to happen, this the 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 ODM fan base, it is something that is not going to be immediately. This is going to be a process, you know. It's for you, especially for areas that Baba controls. Especially, there are some areas that it will take time for you to convince people to leave. You know, there are those who are very fanatical, and I can give you an example. I wish you could have played the video. Remember the guy who cried? He was a boda man, akasema si easy hapa ni tatu na alishinda. You saw how that guy cried? I don't know whether you can remember that. So you see, they are not only him, the majority of people who are like that. That if the Baba will say, okay, now I'm leaving, but I'm leaving you in the safe hands. Yeah, these are, I feel, and I'm very sure that this is the hand. If I leave you, you are safe in. So such like support will always be there. And I think, because I don't know, I'm not very sure. Do you know the, look at this, for example, without googling, who is the current AU chair and what has he or she done on the AU? He was who?
Is Musa
Faki.
Yes, somebody fuck him. Yes.
I wanted to give a different opinion of what you just said.
Yeah.
About Raila. Maybe, for example, if he leaves and he tells us that we are living in the hands of William Samoei Ruto, we've had a discussion with him. I believe he's going to do what is right. He's going to ensure that he listens and does as per your expectation. Personally, as much as I may be coming from that region, I'm not everyone would have that easy leeway to just follow someone just because they've been told. When Raila leaves and he tells us to follow someone, that is going to be a disastrous move. And if he leaves, no one, I'm telling you, listen to Raila Molo Odinga telling us that you follow, for example, like this, so and so. People are going to make their own decision this time around, especially the youths. Whatever we've gone through as a people, this time around, we're not going to allow those nonsensical means of trying to appoint for us a leader. It is not going to happen. And should anyone come with that narrative, there will be casualties in the political scenarios of 2027.
Okay, that's true, but we have to bring in, we'll bring in Miguda. But in politics, what usually happens is two things that are going to happen. Two, it's going to be a positive on the other side, and it's going to be a negative on the other side. And that's why, like, if you look right now, before Baba made this, that is exiting the local politics. What he did was he first of all decided to thank you so much, my brother, for being here. Asante sana. What he did? He first of all organized his house, the ODM, by bringing in leadership immediately after the generals leaving. And he feels that that is safe. And what is going to happen? And I told you, when you look at politics of today, there's that coalition where parties come together. The people who are left behind, they might work with the government and form a coalition with President Ruto. He's not himself going to make that. There's a party organ that is going to decide on that based on his instruction.
I get that, but from where I sit and what I'm seeing in the politics of the Republic of Kenya, if RAILA exits, ODM would be disbanded and everybody would look for their own parties. That's a fact. Wait and see. The likes of Simbarati will not maintain being ODM members. The likes of Governor of Mombasa will not. The likes of Senator of Vihiga would not. Especially the Senator of Vihiga. This young man, I'm telling you, will not be in that party. We've seen Governor Simbarati.
Sifuna.
Because the likes of Sifuna, they would want to associate themselves with the young people. And them maintaining that party, especially after the exit of Raila, of course, would mean nothing to them. So the wave that is coming would force them to realign themselves with the current political parties, because young people have seen ODM as they're saying that ODM snatched in one or another, blocked them from going to where they were going.
Yes.
So currently, to the young people, ODM is going to be tough to be sold to them. And
yes.
The majority, and the same one, they're going to define the elections of 2027.
Yes, thank you. Before I bring in Miguda, I think Atikus now. Thank you so much. He said, honest question: what happened to supporting ideology and principle? This sounds like the same old politics, and don't forget that the youth who are the majority don't think like this. That is true, my brother, and I agree with you 100% that they don't think the same way. But sometimes you never know what usually happens, because if you look at the history of the country, how it started, always the history has always been hijacked in a way that we don't know. Before we know it, things have really changed with a political class, and that one will mean, because like if Raila is gone, we still have his brother that he has, these brothers that he has always been playing politics with. Mudavadi will be here, Wetangula will be here, President Ruto will be here, Kalonzo will be here. Remember, if you look at history very well, they've served in the government in equal measures as the same time they've been in opposition. So they tend to control certain percentage. And for us even to take them away, it is something that will be gradual, because they will always fight back, So when you want to bring ideological kind of politics, they will try to resist, because they know you are taking it away from them, and they will not allow you to do that. So that is something that usually happens. But I agree with you 100%. The ideological kind of politics is coming and is kicking in. But that suppression will be there. That's, I might be wrong, but that might be there. Miguda, what do you say?
Well, first, I would like to say that.
Sorry, let me tell. Yeah, what Atikus is saying, how the political parties, the political parties, they usually die, but the same people usually comes with different outfit, but they're the same people with the same thinking capacity. Yeah, go ahead.
First, I would like to say that even if you are saying that William Ruto agreement with Raila was on the basis that Raila should quit local politics, so that Ruto will support him for the AUC chairperson. I don't think that it is true, because there's no permanent agreement. because those agreements can be revocable. They are not irrevocable. You see, we can agree with you that support me on this AUC chairperson so that I will quit. I will quit local politics. What if Raila failed in that AUC chairperson? When he will come back to vie for the president in 2027, we will deny him that, oh, because I supported you now, you cannot come back to local politics. These are just agreements which are just made so that they can pass time with the current political unfoldings. But there is no agreement that once Ruto support Raila for the AUC chairperson, Raila will not come back to Kenyan politics. Raila can fail and can come back to Kenyan politics. When I want to talk about succession in ODM, first I would like to say that there is no automatic succession. And ODM is a diverse party, and the tribes will fight back. And the Luos also should stop thinking on the one direction that the Luos voted for Raila from 2007, 13, 17, and 22. The Luos are fronting Babu Owino so that they want to. No, let us stop this issue of voting for Luos only. Even the Kikuus voted for Kalenjins in the previous election. The Kikuus voted for Ruto who's a Kalenjin. So even let us look at a viable candidate. It doesn't need to be Babu Owino. It doesn't need to be a Luo. Let us just someone who can transform the country, someone who can reform, someone who can implement 20 constitution so that we can vote for any person. It doesn't need to be a Luo. And also, when I want to talk about the issue of Raila being a mysterious leader, I meant that because currently, even though Raila hijacked the Gen Z movement, but even now we don't understand how he's in opposition, he's in government, at the same time, he wants to be the AUC chairperson. That is a mysterious tactic in politics because one person wearing three hats at the same time. But I was very happy today when I saw Museveni. Museveni said that he's not going to support Raila candidature. Museveni has bolted out and is now supporting the candidate from the Djibouti. Raila going to the AUC chairperson. I don't support. I support him as a Kenyan, and I want him to go through the wire. But from my view, I want him to fail so that he can feel the pain we felt as Gen Zs when he hijacked our movement. So let us wish him the best as one of the candidates. But the result, let him fail. Let him not ascend to that seat so that he can felt that pain we felt during when he hijacked our demonstrations.
I am personally disagreeing with Brother Goda because as the people, I think we should always be. He's left. I don't know where he's gone to. That's not a good. Let's say a good word.
Yeah.
Mr. Meguda, I don't think that's right. Let's. Raila's tried as a man, and not everyone is perfect. That's a fact. You've got your own mistakes. At times, people can castigate you. If they tell you did wrong, of course, that would help you make the right decision in the coming in future. But again, we should pray for him. He's done a lot. That's a fact. He's played his part. Among the good things that we're experiencing that he fought for is is what we're having here. We are having time here to converse about the politics of the Republic of Kenya. This is part of what he fought for: freedom of media, freedom of expression. So as much as he did that, which according to you are saying is not right, let us just be positive. Let us wish him well. He's tried getting presidency for quite some time. He's not managed. And of course, you Migoda, you know that at times there has been accusations that the people running the elections have not been doing it the right way. So of course, if we are supposed to feel bad, or if someone is supposed to feel bad, or if you're accusing him that he should fail so that he also fail, I think he has failed enough. Presidency has been taken from him not once, several times. So Raila Konaro Kubwa, he's gone through all these things. So I think as a country, let's just wish him well and give him time to go for that position. That position, it's almost similar to the presidency. So maybe if he goes there, in one way or another, we will feel his presence. But again, he would have marketed Kenya as a country. You know, Kenya currently is one of those countries which are doing well in Africa. The other day you saw we were number one in the whole continent. of Africa in the athletic sector. So us again taking Raila to that point, it's going to market us to the whole world. So let us not have this mentality of him, of us wanting negative or bad things to our brothers and sisters. Let us just be positive and pray for one another so that we, in one way or another, we encourage each other. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Miguda, before you rebuttal, I want just to comment on what Atiku now said. I like Omtata for his stance on the rule of law and Wanjige for his policy and economic policy. You know, it is true. We have so many of them, good leaders, and I don't know what usually happens when it comes to elections. Some of good leaders that we have, we usually don't elect them when time comes. For instance, I know of a guy. I don't know whether you know, former MP for Ndiwa is called Agustino Neto. Agustino Neto is somebody, like, if you listen to him, you know, the how he talks, you know, even though sometimes he also affiliate himself, he might affiliate himself with some people that you may not like, but truly, Kenya, we have good leaders. Good leaders that are there can lead us. People like Okiya Mutata and not even Okiya Mutata. There's so many of them, you know. But I don't know what usually happens when it comes to time for voting. Yeah, instead of voting those who are fighting for change, especially in challenges that people are facing, you know, we don't vote them. Like today, the CJ was talking about a country whereby students are complaining about school fee, yet the taxpayers' money is given to fund school, you know, like all these things that are given for bursaries for MPs and governors and what, you know. Sometimes you sit down and think yourself that how could it be that in the same county, governor has a bursary that is giving out, MP has a bursary, I don't know whether senator has, like, and still in that county there are people who are still not going to school, and the bursary, education bursary, is given. You know, what do you think about that? How can we cure those? You know, so I think the only problem that we have as a country is about leadership. And the leadership, and yesterday I talked of something we call the political illiteracy, and how informed are the voters that even we have. We as voters, how informed are we? You know, how informed are we? You know, and at what point should I decide to vote for somebody who has looted money, who has denied people not to go to school, who has not even taken the money that is meant for dispensary? You know, and we say this is ours. At times, like, you know, we've seen cases whereby even wananchi say that huyo ni mwizi wetu, wacha tu tumchague, na ni mwizi wetu. At what point? Yeah, you know, so that education, like, to stand with leaders who are good, I think it is high time even leaders, the voters, we should look into that. You know, Miguda, you can come in.
First, I'd like to respond to my co-panelist, Mark Obura. I never, you know, maybe you thought I was too personal. No. I was saying that we, the people, we, the supporters of ODM from 2007, we wanted him to become president. There's no way we wanted Raila to become the AUC chairperson. If we could have wanted him to become the AUC chairperson, we could have not wasted our time voting for him in 2007, 13, 17, 2022. The people of Kenya have wanted him to become the president. The people of Kenya have wanted him to be on the house at the Hill. The people of Kenya have never wanted Raila to be the AUC chairperson. The people who have sacrificed a lot, people have lost their lives for Odinga's presidency. People have even gone for a mock swearing in at Uhuru Park, and he was even sworn in as the people's president. So people have wanted him to be the president of a sovereign state, the president of the Republic of Kenya, not the AUC chairperson. This choreograph of AUC chairperson from West Africa with the former president Olusegun Obasanjo and William Ruto and Raila, this is their own agenda. This is a three-man agenda. These are Ruto, Raila, Obasanjo's agenda. The Kenyan people have wanted Raila to become the president. Even you right now where you seated, you are yearning for Raila Odinga's presidency. We are not yearning for Raila Odinga's AUC chairperson. If that is what we have fought for all these years, losing lives, going for manamano, going for demonstration, for him to go to the AUC chairperson, he could have said early so that we could have filled in candidates in those elections days, so that those candidates could have won those elections. Instead of him wasting our time, then at the end of the day, you want to go to the AUC chairperson. So I never said that I don't support him. I support his candidacy, but I have also opinion which I reserve that I don't want him to win. I want him to fail. Because according to me, Raila should be the head of the state, Republic of Kenya. You know, in Kenya, we elect a president. The people, the sovereign power, Article 1, elect the president. So we give him the whole mandates as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the head of the state. He's the head of us, the population. He's the head of the geographical region. He's the head of the government. He's the head of the legal framework, that is the constitution. As the AUC chairperson, we are only having one person to vote for him, William Ruto, our president. So, do William Ruto one person voting for Raila Odinga, or maybe 34 presidents? That is not much power, because in Kenya, a president is being elected with 50 plus 1 vote, almost 7 million, depending on the cast of the vote. So, the people are sovereign, and the people are meant to give him power. I don't support the idea which has been choreographed by Olusegun Obasanjo and Ruto and Raila to go for AUC chairperson, and we have sacrificed as a country to make him president, and he has never won that seat. That's why I differ with Raila.
Okay, thank you so much. And we are just about to wind up because we've taken so long. And I would like to take before we wind up, I know Makobura, you want to say something. I want to take the chance to thank the following articles now. Thank you so much. Banker, WS Banker, thank you so much for your support. And we really, really appreciate you being here and assist us to have a conversation of this, our beloved country, Kenya, and about leadership. And there's something that Martha Karua said. Maybe I can play it. So Makobura, you can weigh your thought as you weigh your thought also on what Makobura, Miguda has said. You know,
is being sacrificed at the altar of crony capitalism. You will remember that there is now a new method of funding education, and we believe it is deliberately designed to erode access to education. The introduction of the variable scholarship and loan funding model is nothing short of betrayal by people who enjoyed education funded by the state. It shifts the burden of education to the backs of students and their families, majority of whom can ill afford, violating the essence of Article 43 of the Constitution, which guarantees the right to education. This model, if implemented without meaningful public participation, is not only unconstitutional, but also discriminatory. It exacerbates the socio-economic inequalities that already plague our nation, denying countless young Kenyans the opportunity to better their lives through education. The latest assault on our rights is part of the same economic oppression that led Kenyans to rise and protest against the Finance Bill 2024 and other punitive tax measures. Just as Kenyans rejected the heavy hand of the state in imposing unjustifiable taxes that threatened to crush the livelihoods of millions, we must now reject this new oppressive university funding model placed on the shoulders of our students and their families. It represents an attempt to extract wealth from the most vulnerable and to consequently deepen the economic divide in our society.
Okay, that is one area that she's talking about education, and I mentioned it, Makobura, about how the duplication of work or duplication of tasks are done, where governor and all that, everybody has a bursary to give out, yet our students and they still cannot make it to school. And another clip that also I was supposed to play is about where she was planning to go to the International Criminal Court to lodge complaint to the government about the those who have lost and those who were killed during the protest. Now, my question to you is that about the education system. What is your take on it?
I think the government in power, or the government in place, they're not really trying to help the young people get affordable education. You know, education is a basic right in the constitution that we have now. And this government coming up with this model of funding, it's just a way of trying to discriminate. You know, Kenya has majority of people who are very poor. So them coming up with this model or whatever of funding, it's a disadvantage to the young people, because even the procedures or the model that they're using to identify or to say that this person comes from a poor background, this person comes from a middle class, it is not like there's no any justification that it is like, how do I say it? How do I put it? There's no any justification, but again, it is not clear. It does not really differentiate clearly. And so that's a problem, because so many young people, especially from the poor background, they've been complaining. We've been seeing them. You know, they've been put in a cluster or a turf where rich people are coming from. So they are even unable to raise the amount of money that they've been told. I personally don't understand why the government of Kenya in this generation is trying to let young people who are joining university or colleges to spend that a lot of money in pursuit of education. You know, education is one important thing in the life of every individual in this generation. President Mwai Kibaki did his best by trying to introduce free primary education. If any president with a good motive would continue implementing the free education up to the tertiary level, I think it would be a good thing. So education is something that we should not deny the people of Kenya. Any person who wants to get knowledge in any field should be given the opportunity. You know, education is the only equalizer that we have. So it does not really sits well with us as a people, because we are seeing it as a way of them trying to deny the poor people time to get knowledge, so that the poor people would also come in the same level to oppose the injustices that the government is trying to bring in place. So education should be a free thing, and William Samuel Ruto should revert back to the model that was there. He should actually try make it better. This narrative of changing names of institution, like the other day they were changing NHIF to SHE, I don't know, SHIF or whatever. It does not really solve the issues that we have as a country. So they should simply come up and make things work for the people of Kenya.
Miguda, what do you say about... Miguda, are you getting me?
Very clearly.
Yeah. What do you say about education and what is happening? Because, you know, I think all of us here, including you, Makobura, and myself, we all went through educational system in Kenya. I know times have changed. And I hope and I believe some of you are very lucky to get the funding from HELP. Yeah. And if you look at even so many countries where they put their priority is education, because they know that is the place where so many people would get knowledge and to get awareness. But you find in our country, you know, the models that is being used is discriminatory. Because I was looking at one of the fee structure of one of the a friend. Uh, like he's going to do a very good cause, but like if you look at the parents can, I think she's in bundle one, but the parents cannot accommodate because you are paying something up to 120. That is after government taking some of the um, payments, giving you the loan and everything, but you still have to pay 120. So tell me, in this current situation, and some of our parents who are at home, who do not even have basic income, you want to get 120. Where will the person get that money from? As compared to other areas, especially even in the rural area, whereby you can find somebody was paying 15,000 Kenya shillings in some areas,
According to me, education should be free. Education should be free from kindergarten to university.
Yeah.
Education in Kenya should be free because even the president himself is a product of free education. Even Martha Karua, who we have just watched his video right now, is a product of education. So all these leaders, all these people who are introducing this new funding model are all products of education. So I don't see why they don't want the younger people, the younger citizens, to get free education. Education should be free, and I also support the idea of scraping off education funds from the NGCDF and from the county level. Let them let them remove that money from MPs and from governors so that education can be free, so that the government can fund education. Because education is the only equalizer tool for the condition of all men. Even me, were it not education, I could not be here. Why not for education, but Benson, you could not be in this media. So education should be free because education open opportunity for each and every person in the society. And they're introducing discriminatory model whereby only the rich people can go to school because they are able to pay those fees. And you remember, the people who usually pass, the people who usually go to university are from the humble background. The people who go to public university are from the humble background. So because the people from the high class, they can afford private universities, they can go abroad. So the people who are in the humble background, they have that opportunity to go to the public school. So the education should be free to allow them to explore their ambition and their dreams. So going forward, I think we are going to demonstrate. We are going to, for demonstration. We are going to fight this new funding model in courts and also on the street.
Okay, and thank you so much about. Are you getting me? And there's also something that's also
I'm getting you.
Okay, thank you. There's something also that we have to have a conversation as a society, because you find very well that some of our leaders, they own the private schools. They own these hospitals, the good hospitals, like they are. You find they're the people who are owning them, which are charging quite much expensively. And you wonder if the leaders themselves, they are private or businesses, like maybe schools and all that, is doing well and they're managing it well. Why can't they take that and do it for the country? That even in our churches, the churches that you see, some of the churches are running one of the best schools that are performing well. And to the irony part of it is, like, the poor people are not part of those. They're not going to those schools that are being run by these churches. And you wonder, what kind of society are we breeding? A society of selfishness, a society of uh, um, of stratification, whereby the rich and the poor. And when we meet, we say on how we will take you to school, we will do for you this, and they're the people in the leadership. So I think these are the kind of conversations that we should be having, and sometimes it makes you sick it make you sick as a country. It make you sick as a citizen of this country, where you see people cannot even afford. Some children are still learning under the tree, and even not learning under the tree, the walls of the classroom are still mud wall. And you wonder, what are we doing as a country, or what are we doing as leaders? So I think it's so sad. So that is Kenya we have, and these are kind of the conversation that we will keep on having. Makobura.
Yeah, maybe to add on something, I think the the political class, they're trying to make education looks like it's only for the rich. This is why we shall not agree with that.
Sorry, let me attend to something. You can close the show when you're done, please.
I'm saying that the political class...
You're okay with that?
It's okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. The political class has taken over the education sector to an extent that they don't want to give or to let the poor people get the right education, because I believe that, from where I see it, them trying to deny the young people, and especially the people coming from poor backgrounds, from receiving good education, is a way of trying to rule them, is a way of trying to deny them a knowledge. It's a way of trying to make them stay in a dark room to an extent that they will not even know about their rights. They will not even know about what is happening. We've seen education being an equalizer in this country, and I think, and I would urge the people of Kenya, that we have to fight so that so that education would be made a free thing in the republic. It is not right that if you go to universities, personally, I know so many people who cannot even afford the university fees. I know so many people who dropped. And in this republic, with the economy that we have and with the governments that we have in place, once you get out of university, once you fail to complete your course, what really awaits you is suffering, is so many negative things. So I think we need to unite as a people and fight to ensure that the young people of Kenya, especially those who are coming from poor background, get access to education, because that is the only thing that would give us the knowledge. That is the only thing that would allow us to understand how the world is operating, how the government is operating, and all necessary knowledge that we need as a people. So maybe Migoda, if you have anything before we close the show.
I would just like to say that education should be free. It should be free for all, not free for few. And also it should be not discriminatory to the people of Kenya. It should be equal to each and every person. And that's why I've said that we are going to demonstrate. I think by September we'll be on the street. We'll demonstrate in all campuses. And we are also going to make sure that it is free. There's no introduction of new funding model. And also people are going to court to contest the same in court. And also because all these people are introducing these things, they are products of education. They are products of boom. It was used to be called boom the help. So they should not introduce this new funding model, which has made them move they are. So they don't want other people to be what they want to be in future. So we are going to fight it until we ensure that this new funding model is going to be scraped away.
Yeah, I think the government do not really care about the education of the young, poor people. The other day you saw teachers saying that they would strike just because the government has not respected or has not done as per their agreement. So that tells you that this government really do not care about the poor people, about the education of the people. They're making it too expensive for people to afford. We do not know their motive, but as a people, we should come back to our senses and know that the moment the government is unable to, has failed to pay the teachers, the moment the government is trying to increase school fees and university fees, that tells you that they do not want us to get knowledge. They do not want us to get education. And so we have to unite and remind them that as a people, it is our right. We've done what it takes. We've paid taxes, and so they should just do their role as a government. Yeah. So before we end the show, allow me to take this opportunity to thank all the viewers and those who are commenting. We are so much grateful. And thank you for being there for us. If you're new, kindly like and subscribe to Brother Benson Media. And maybe Miguda, your last remarks, anything that you'd want to tell the people of Kenya before we close?
I would like to tell the people of Kenya that we are dealing with the very dangerous regime so far in the history of this country. This government is defunct, and the people who are in this government, they are so terrible. And now they have regrouped as politicians. Now it's more worse. So with the people of Kenya, we should not lose focus. Let us continue pressing. Let us continue being on opposition. Let us continue to criticize this government because we need service delivery. So we must be on the front line, make sure that we have a good country because this country is not only for us but also for our future siblings and our future children and grandchildren. Therefore, to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for coming today. All of you have commented, those who have given us negative critics and positive critics, we are very grateful. They are part and parcel of this channel. And also, for those people who are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. You can share, you can comment. Also, you can give us a thumbs up. For those people who can give us thumbs down, also you can give us thumbs down. Bye. See you next time.
Thank you very much. Good night, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.